Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Every day in America, suicides among the American military number at least 22 per day. This is far too many, but this number is a baseline. It is probably far greater, sadly. In conjunction with the movie The Keeper, which highlights a veteran who is suffering from PTSD and is contemplating ending his life, but decides not to do so and gets better. We want to help people remember and have in front of them the information that they need to highlight this tragedy and to hopefully reach out and help someone who is struggling in the same way as some of those were on the name tapes that our character carried throughout the movie The Keeper. So for 22 days, the Southern Fried Podcast is going to keep a sad number. We're going to keep a running tally using the baseline number 22, starting on September 2nd. And each day that we're on the air, we'll give the updated numbers. We want to highlight this not to promote a number, but to make a difference. There may be someone you know you need to reach out to, listen to, get the information to them. There's not a one-size-fits-all, but we need to let our veterans know that we care, we want to help, and that there's resources for them. The Southern Fried Podcast is committed to do their part to bring this number down. 1 is too many. 22 is an atrocity. Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How's the day this morning?
Not bad. Got the coffee going. Trying to get the kiddo stirring, and I'm ready to go. It is, what day is it?
Hump day.
Hump day. That's right. Welcome to those who are already in here this morning. We appreciate you being here. It's a blessing to be with you this morning. I hope you had a great Tuesday. I was busy running kids to a football game and picking them up. You know, you get them there, and then no longer you go store and get home. They go, "Hey, we're ready to come home."
Yeah.
You know,
Sounds like kids.
I'm like, okay, but you know, you only get a chance to do those things so ever so often. So you know, once it's gone, and then they don't know you for a while. Then they come back, and you know. So I figured, well, they would ask my wife, and I thought I don't want her to have to get out, so I'll just go do that. So yeah, how about you?
I'm doing well. I'm hanging in there. I'm awake and I'm moving, and good Lord, I'm still on this side of the grave by the grace of God.
Praise God. All right, let's do our shout out this morning. Go ahead and get that in.
Oh, you got a shout out. Where are we going?
Monkey's Eyebrow, Kentucky. Oh, wow.
Anything at all to do with the monkey farms at Bainbridge?
No, but it's a great tie-in, man, and we're going to talk about that this week. There's going to be news coming. We're supposed to sort of get together today and talk about a time to come on, but a great tie-in. But all the way up in the great state of Kentucky is Monkey's Eyebrow, and we see some different ads and stuff where they've got out there signs and things, and then a singer there, Kelsey Walden, got some shirts going on with the Monkey's Eyebrow. There's a couple of things about the thing. It's like a lot of them. You don't never know exactly why they're called that. But some of them said from the from the top, like if you were up in the air, it looked like a monkey's eyebrow. I don't know. I don't know who comes up with those things, but hey, if you live in monkey's eyebrow or have, we give you a salute this morning.
Salute.
Good morning from the Southern Fried Podcast and Cornbread Nation.
Now I got a question.
Real quick, Rob, shout out to Angie's Decatur Diner who gave us a like this morning. Thank you for watching this morning. And I saw where they were able to share our interview we did, and I hope that's a help to them. And I mean, she had one of the best, I think I mentioned this to you, Rob. She had one of the best comments come in you could ever have about a business, and talking about somebody said they moved in the area and how they made them feel at home, and just what great people they are, which we knew that. I mean, because we've been, at least I've been there, and you've met her. And I thought that's an infomercial right there. You got somebody saying that, but that's why we wanted to do that with that great small business there in Decatur. So if you're in the Decatur, Tennessee area, stop in. But good morning. A shout out also to Decatur, Tennessee. We got folks up in there that come and watch us some. So appreciate you. Now, Rob, what was you saying, sir? Was it on Monkey's Eyebrow? Did you want to say something about that, or the monkey farm?
Well, I want to say good morning to my sugar britches there.
Oh, did he come in? He's here, Daniel?
Yes, Daniel's done popped in. It's very important to recognize sugar britches. You do not want to anger him. We've got to. No, that'd be scary. We got to, he's already threatened to take over the show.
Well, that's the hardest working man in Chatsworth, Georgia. And I appreciate that when you're not here, which is rare, but in those times that you're not in my streams, he comes in and he comes in loud and proud. And what? I admire the hardest working man in Chatsworth, Georgia. So I give him the shout out to Sugar Britches. It goes against my grain to say that word to another man, but in his case, I'll do it.
I'm sure he appreciates that, and I'm sure you're never going to hear the end of it, how he wore you down either.
Yeah, I know. He worked on my heart, Oh, man. Hey, the Braves won last night.
The look on your face that day, when I said, hi there, Sugar Britches, that look was almost equal to the look that you gave me when I mentioned a monkey farm in Bainbridge.
And probably pretty close. I still cannot believe that, and bless those people's heart. I mean, that sounded like the biggest gag you had ever pulled, a monkey farm in Bainbridge, Georgia, but it's true. And I think I'm correct. They cleared some land there. And some people said there is an industrial park there. They wasn't putting it there. It was more out of the city in a way, more in where the homes are. I mean, that was a whole nother thing that I read last night. We've been in, we got another one said he's the hardest working man in Catlett, Georgia. Non-working man in Catlett, Georgia. I'll give you some tie into Catlett here in a minute. But I said, man, I just feel bad for them. And shout out to them this morning. We're supposed to hook up. And of course, Rob, that's down there in your back door, so to speak. I mean, it's not that far away. So we got boots on the ground, and we're going to be, they're going to come on and their PR people and talk about this. But we're in groups that are numbering, I mean, over 6,000 or 7,000 if you total them all up, of folks that they're united in this. They want to stop it. And that's a lot of folks when you think about how many people are in the city and then how many they've got rallied to this. I think that's pretty impressive. But this has been going on for some time. Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to talking to them, and getting more. It is a serious issue. We joked around about it, and we do a lot of that on here, but it is a serious issue, and we want to give it its due diligence and respect to it, and let those folks come on and say, hey, because I don't like the idea of it, and I live in the state of Georgia, and I'm not for it. And Rob, just real quickly, we want to make sure we've got it on the scroll, but this is day 3 of our campaign. I'll let you speak to that and about our number this morning. It's on the scroll.
Well, we're doing 22 days, and we're going to keep it run total. And that's a baseline for the number of suicides that veterans commit in this country every day. It's a baseline. we're using that, but just to kind of raise awareness of the amount of deaths that we're having with our veterans. And this is day 3. So we've lost 66 veterans since we started this.
Yeah.
Be Monday. So,
at least. Yeah.
At least. Some of the information that's out there is more dangerous for our veterans to come home than it is to face a bullet. They are 4 times more likely to commit suicide. We lose 4 times more to suicide than we do to actual combat.
That's amazing.
That's the totals for the last 20 years.
Yeah,
absolutely. We need some awareness on this.
And along with that, and Rob may not want to say too much, but I will say we have a video that is dropping. I think that's tomorrow. What time is that video dropping, Rob? 7? I think you put it for. Is that AM or PM? I don't remember.
That's PM.
PM, 7 PM. Rob went. One of the reasons he wasn't here Monday night, and we've talked about it, and he wanted me to review. There's a video of it, and so he doesn't want to speak too much about it. But if he chooses to, that's fine. It's very close to his heart. But he got to speak at the American Legion. I don't remember the post number there down where he lives, and speak on veteran suicide. Did an amazing job. I've seen the video. These veterans, and it has some emotion to it, obviously, because this touches everybody. But it's about 18 minutes. That'll drop Thursday night at 7 p.m. Please watch that. That's Rob don't want a lot of attention on him, but on the situation. But he did an amazing job, and he may be going to speak again. There's talk of him being at another American Legion post and doing that. He did an amazing job. He is a veteran of the Navy, dad and granddad, veterans, and hits close to home for him. So great job, Rob. I know you don't like to be bragged on, but especially in this matter, but you did great. Appreciate your wife getting us the video. Appreciate their support down there, and hopefully it'll help somebody in that group or out there in the world somewhere as that video and this attention we're putting on it in our corner of the world. And please go see the movie The Keeper. It's out there, and if you can't find it at a theater, request it. And if you can't get it there, on November 8th on Amazon Prime, this will release for streaming. You'd want to see this. I promise you, it's a great movie in many ways. And go back into our archives there. It's only been about a week or so. We have released that, not even a week, I think, the interview we did with George Eshelman, who the movie The Keeper is about. We can't say enough about it.
Yeah, we can't say enough about Mr. George. I've talked to him several times, and he's a very amazing person. And I would like to bring up one more thing. That number 22, that versus what we believe is the real number, but 22. If we could drop it by 1, drop it down to 21, that's 365 families that won't be hit with this horrible thing.
Yeah.
If we can just drop it by 1, 365 families.
Yeah, and it's not bound by any particular age group. It can happen across all age groups. Any circumstance, any field, any branch of service, it does not matter. PTSD is across the board, and it's some people just have, they need help. They need help with it, and in many different ways. But there's resources out there, and hopefully we just keep putting some attention on it. But 22 days, we're going to do that. We started Monday. This is day 3. And then we'll figure out some way to keep doing it after that. But it just seemed like the right thing to do for us. So,
amen.
Amen. Well, the Braves won last night. They're in a dogfight, not for first place. They root that any hope of that with their complete meltdown against the Phillies. But they are in a dogfight with the Mets. The Mets have picked up 2 on them, and there's a half game difference. Everybody won last night, and among those 3, and the Mets are nipping at their heels. But Chris Sale, the pitcher for the Atlanta, I thought this was impressive. Left-hander, he's had a great season, 16-3, I think it is. I want to get this wrong, but I think he's the first left-hander for the Braves to top 200 Ks in a season. That's
Wow.
impressive. 200 Ks in a season, and he's just been lights out. He had battled injuries. There was some question about bringing him in. Thus far, he has been nothing but lights out. It was a great signing. And of course, they've had injuries, and that's affected the team and the team's performance this year. But they can get in the playoffs, and who knows what can happen then.
Well,
maybe we'll get another crack at them Phillies.
Yeah, it's a team game. It's not based on any one player. But when you lose one of your best players, I mean, and they've lost what, 3 or 4. It seems like there for a while, every Brave out there was just dropping.
No.
Like we did, like we were feeling like we lost Chris there for a little while, then Cook got hurt. We was like, oh no, they're dropping like flies. We're going to change our names to Atlanta Fried Podcast, but we didn't do that.
Oh man. And we also I want to give a shout out today too to the awesome people that we were able to talk to and interview with at the Labor Day at the Post. I wish I just time and just being able to get access. I wish I got a lot more. Just amazing. We have had a lot of response to those videos across our streams. We appreciate that. And I want to appreciate the official of the city of Fort Oglethorpe who was so kind to give us some time and has just really made us feel welcome as a new podcast, and has offered, if we need anybody or want somebody to come on, they're there for us. And I appreciate that because there are issues in our area, just like, you know what, Rob, I want to say this, and we mentioned it one other time, and we're not saying who, we're not going to say who, we wouldn't do that. But we reached out to some officials, not in my immediate, like right in my town, but not that far away, and also in your area, about coming on the podcast, and we got so many responses. We had to hire a team to go through them. No, we got no responses. They didn't even give us the no. I mean, they just act like we wouldn't even hear. That's okay. That's fine. We'll remember that. There'll be a day when you want to come on, and we're going. Remember when we sent that message to you? We tried to help you out.
You want to come on here and talk about you getting elected? Wouldn't even answer my phone
We
call.
like elephants. We're going to remember that. But, they've been more than gracious at the local city level here. And I appreciate that. And all the businesses and stuff. I've said this also, our help to businesses. They're so used to somebody having their hand out wanting something. We're just saying it's free. We just want to help. They're not used to that. They're conditioned for the scams, and for everybody wanting a piece of their little bit of profit. And when you tell them that's free, we don't want no money out of it. We just want to be a help. It's a blessing, but you have to change that mentality. I mean, nowadays, what do you get for free? Salvation is free. I mean, the love of your mom. There's not much free anymore. Free for Robert to pick on me on the show. That's free. I mean, I don't even have to pay for that. By the way, we've got a dilemma, Rob.
A hard time, huh?
We have a dilemma, and Tarman is in here. Tarman is the one that made this statement. Tarman said we were like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Now, that's cool. We love it. The only problem we're having is we don't know who's who.
The only problem is yesterday you hollered out I was Butch. And I'm trying to figure out what in the world you were talking about. Sent me a text calling me Butch. I'll show you Butch.
I said, I think you might be, Butch from the movie, and he's giving me a hard time. So you have to settle this debate, Tarman. So if you're still listening, I think you probably are. Get you a cup of coffee. And, he's probably going to hold us up on this and mess with us about it, so it just little things like that will just, grind on you. You're like, what? What is that?
You said I was Butch. Why? Because you can picture
if you think back to the movie with the famous one, there's been more than one, but obviously I'm thinking of Robert Redford and what's the actor's name? I can't think of his name right now. Paul Newman. Yeah. If you think about their mentality and how they kind of worked in there, you just seem to be more like the Paul Newman character. I just think that's why it just seemed to be a natural fit for you. And I said the reason, and he's laughing like he don't even want to say. Look at him, he's laughing at us. The reason I said that was in that scene when they're cornered in. I mean, the law, they're up there high on the rocks and everything, and they're Sundance is like, well, I guess it's over, and he goes, no. Butch said, no, we'll jump. And of course, Paul Newman is afraid of heights. I mean, Sundance I'm afraid of heights. And Rob does all these crazy things. You know, he's out there swimming with the fishes and all this stuff that I don't do. You know, swimming with sharks and all this stuff. And he convinces him to jump, and he don't want to do it. He goes, and he said, who would make that jump? You know, I mean, nobody would unless you had to. You know, I mean, they're arguing about it the whole time, and they're closing in on getting ready to have the shootout, and they make the jump. You know, and oh, good Lord,
tire man.
Oh man, that is a shot.
Oh, I'm telling you, you're Louise.
We're going off the cliff now in the car, and that's how it's going to end for us.
And I'm driving.
Well, there's no doubt about that, because I wouldn't be the one driving. Tire man.
That's not mine.
Well, hey, he said he could have said this. I think it's obvious there.
What? You'd be more advanced?
Yeah, I think it's obvious.
Well, he still hadn't said which one of us is Butch and which one is Sundance.
He's holding it over our head. He don't want to say. He's gonna let this thing play out.
Okay, I got you.
Or maybe he don't know. I don't know, but he saw something in us that said that. I mean, he popped it in there, and I've been thinking on that ever since yesterday. Like who, what, when, and where. I mean, where'd that come from? I do love that movie, and that was a great pairing, and they did a great job with that. But the comedy between them, and I also think about that because sometimes Robert will come up with something, and I'm just shaking my head, and like what? I mean, the scene where they go in to rob the bank, and they go down to South America, Bolivia, or whatever, and he goes in there, and of course Sundance doesn't know any Spanish, and he's trying to learn. He don't know nothing, but or he thinks he knows a little bit, but he really don't. But Butch, this would be Robert. Go, I got this. And he goes in and he's saying everything wrong. And they're looking at him like, what? And he's giving him a hard time. See, I told you. To an extent, he says, unless I'm fired up.
Yeah. We're going to have to get you fired up this morning.
I told you.
Finish your story, Pepper.
No, it's just that he goes in, and I could see me and Rob, not that we'd ever be doing that exact same thing, but Rob would get us into something, and then Rob wouldn't have a plan. It'd be like, well, this didn't work. And I'd be like, oh, that's great to find out now. I thought you had this figured out. Rob would say, no, it was just an idea. We're supposed to figure it out together. That would be what would happen.
Exactly. And it may have already happened a time or two in the past.
Well, it kind of has. It kind of has.
Y'all don't realize for the last 30 years, either I've been throwing gas on that guy or he's been throwing gas on me. We've been keeping each other fired up for 30 some odd years now. And we've had some good moments. And they ain't stopping no time soon.
Well, I am a Taurus, so, I guess I could be the bull in a china shop. Before and I had, went as a child, but in my first days in the old manufacturing plant, I wasn't living my life for Jesus. I was much more coarse in things, and I used to pick at people real hard, and people didn't know how to take me. I went around and did a lot of apologizing and asking forgiveness when I rededicated my life to Christ. I was an instigator, big time. I was never on the level of Robert. Never, ever, ever.
You jumped on me a bunch of times.
But I was an instigator. I like to throw the flame out there and watch other people go at it. So I'm that guy. I would get it going and then step back and go, hey, look.
Out of all the people that he may have felt the need to apologize to, as many times as we've been on each other, I was probably never crossed his mind because he never hurt my feelings.
You're right. It never crossed my mind.
Okay.
There was a guy who shall remain nameless, and he was low level management. I don't mean that as a shot. He was new. He was working his way up. He's probably owns a business now, or he's at least a plant manager. This guy, he's a smart guy. He's straight out of college, which that was not a great place to come and work at if you were straight out of college, was it, Rob? I mean, I think you would admit to that. We were brutal on the college grads, brutal. I gave him so much grief. He was the first guy that I went to, and I stopped him. And when I stopped him, he had that look like a deer in the headlights, like, oh no, here he comes again. And I come up and I said, hey, I just want to say I'm sorry for all the things I said to you and did to you. And I just want you to forgive me. And if you would, and and he's looking at me like, is this a joke? I mean, like, he goes, you're being serious, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, man, he's like, he took a deep breath, like, and let it out, like, oh, he's like, he's not picking at me. He's like, I appreciate that so much. That means a lot to me. It really does. And he said, absolutely, I forgive you. Shook my hand and went on. But as he walked away, I could see him thinking, I still don't know if that's real. Like I never saw him. I never saw him again. Never saw him again. But you know how it was back in those days. If somebody told us something to do, we were hard workers. We'd do anything. But all in how you approached it, if you came and you told us to do something, and depending on how you said it, we would do our level best not to do it at times, just to prove a point.
Yeah.
And one night, I remember I gave him a hard time. He wanted me to paint. Our machine was down, and old school managers, they didn't have a problem telling us what to do, and in very explicit ways.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to do that, and we knew that. So he asked me to paint, and I'm telling him that's not in my job description. Oh man, we gave him. He tried to get, like, he finally found some guy that was kind of new, and he got him to do this painting. But we never did the painting. But we just said, well, show us in the job description. Where's that at? That I'm a painter. I'm this. I run a machine, or I do that. And he was begging, like, then come on, guys, I got to get this done. Of course, when you resort to begging, that made it worse.
Oh yeah. You just guaranteed that this wasn't going to happen. Come on, guys, please.
Yeah.
Please. No.
You've won. You've won at that point, and you've won.
You know it. Would you please do it?
Old school guys would say, paint or hit the road. I mean, that's just basically what they would say. 27 runs north and south. Go find you another job. There's 500 people lined up at the door. Well, it's your job. They're putting in applications every day. We don't need you that much.
Right.
But we did our job, so that we never got to that. We knew who we could put around and who we couldn't.
Either that, or they would say, are y'all going to paint? And we'd be like, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
No. Then they would be like, the old school guys would be like, drop the attitude, get the paint bucket, and get over there and paint. We found other ways to pick at those guys. It wasn't the full on, like, we're not doing that. We found other ways, but we would paint designs. We wouldn't paint the whole thing, paint part of it, paint the top side or the bottom side, not the top. We'd find ways.
I don't mean this to sound negative anyway, but I likened it back in those days because the environment was rough. I mean, it was a harsh environment. I mean, it's like, how do you make a coal mine easy? I mean, it's not. That's hard work. Manufacturing in those days was very hard work and very, in some cases, dangerous. I mean, there wasn't a lot of safety protocols back in the day. There were some, but I think back now 30 plus years ago when I started in that, the changes, but we likened it to, we're stuck here for 12 hours. And that's what you felt like. I got to be here 12 hours. And even the fencing looked like it was a prison. So we would say, like a prisoner, you'll do anything to make that time go by. You go a little stir crazy. You really do. It's the middle of summer, blazing hot, you're sweating, you're having all sorts of issues with that. You're working hard. It's a coarse, rough environment. You'll do anything to make time go by. You didn't want to look at the clock,
Most of those old school supervisors knew that. Most of them came up through the ranks. They understood. And so we're in there and we got to do something to entertain ourselves. It is, we're hot, we're grumpy, we're grouchy, we're crotchety. And we were young guys back then. And we worked hard. We played hard. We did
play hard. It was just the way it was. It was common to hear people just cussing each other out. I mean, it was common. People, worker to worker, boss to worker, worker to boss. It was just but you got your job done. I mean, that was just in the course of getting your job done. People were afraid to go to other departments because if you weren't from their department, they treated you even worse. Like, who are you and what are you doing here? I mean, it would be like a bullhorn. Hey, you, what are you doing in my department? You don't work out here. And you're like, well, I'm sorry, sir. They sent me out here. I don't care what you're out here for. Get out of here.
And see, I was the one that was all, that would stay far enough out of my job. If I wanted to walk to another department, I could. And it was fun for me. They'd be like, hey, who are you? Jebediah Thakawar, Keep right on trucking.
That's it.
Or, who are you? Well, I'm the boss of who?
Hey, let's run an ad. I want to say real quick, one of the ones we run in the morning is ARA. Got a nice note back from Miss Carol. They're doing really good on their cat adoptions. They've got a thing worked out with another business, and yes, they're doing really good on cat adoptions. And it's a little harder for them on we help them with that, get the messaging about these great dogs they have. But they do have in that area down there, Carol told me, with 2 Tractor Supplies, which are helping them to promote and bring the animals out so they can let the public see them, so they'll hopefully get adopted to their forever home. And she just really appreciates any donations that are given. And so anybody that's given support in any kind of way, it's greatly appreciated. Things are going good, and we just want to see that continue and get these dogs to their forever home.
And just for a disclaimer, my puppy dog video today will be coming out a little bit late. They're getting me some extra pictures and footage of we've got puppies from the same family today. They need to go to different homes, though. They're a little bit grumpy with each other, but they're great puppy dogs, and they get along good with all the other dogs, just not each other. But we'll get those up as soon as I can.
Good deal. We'll be right back. Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, one of the blessed things we've been able to do is partner with the wonderful people at Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. These folks are a no-kill shelter in Donaldsonville, Georgia. You see the contact info on the screen. And these folks would love to have you come adopt a dog or a cat. They have folks that come from all over the United States, not just the state of Georgia. They're great folks. It's been a wonderful partnership between Southern Fried Podcast and ARA. And we've been blessed to meet some of the folks that have adopted animals from ARA. Also, we've been able to encourage people to donate and volunteer. They encourage volunteers that are in the area, and they're just wonderful people. We'd love for you to contact them, meet them too, go on their website, see some of the animals, and we know you'll want to partner with them too by taking a dog or a cat to their forever home. Join with us, the Southern Fried Podcast, in support of this great work of the Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. We know you'll be happy you did. I know we are. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. Please join us each Wednesday evening as we go live for Hump Day News, where we talk about a little bit of everything. We'll laugh a little bit. We'll tell you a little bit of sports news and other news that's going on. Each Wednesday evening at 7 p.m., join us for the SFP Hump Day News live. You're midweek, making your way through another work week. Join us, and we'll try to make you laugh a little bit and keep your day a little brighter. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. As part of our Main Street program, we're highlighting businesses in small-town America. This week, we're interviewing Angie from Angie's Decatur Diner. Tune in to hear her interview.
Hello, folks. Just got finished an interview with the Southern Fried Podcast about the upcoming movie called The Keeper. It's in movie theaters nationwide. It'll be streaming in November. It's about a veteran who attempted to hike the Appalachian Trail, successfully ended the trail while fighting his battle with PTSD. It's based on a true story. I hope y'all go see it. It has a wonderful message. It's a very powerful movie. But yeah, please go see it.
And we're back.
Yes.
As you were playing those, especially that last one, and I was thinking how much I want to see that movie again, and take some other people with me that have not seen it. We got a viewing because we were doing the interview, but I want to go. I want to find somewhere where it's on the big screen. I'm going to look today and see if there's somewhere in my local area that I can go to. If not, I'm going to call because I really want to see that on the big screen.
Yeah, because they actually went up on the Appalachian Trail to film it, and the scenery up there is absolutely amazing.
Oh, it's awesome.
Beautiful.
In fact, in that promo, that picture behind him that he's using on his green screen, he said that was from the AT. That's one of the pictures he took from the AT. So, I mean, it's over 2,000 miles that from where they started to where it ends in Georgia. And I think it was Amicalola Falls is what he said.
Yeah.
I've never been there. Where is that? Where is that generally, Rob? Where is that located at? I've never been there.
North Central Georgia.
Well, that gives me a thank you, Rob. North Central Georgia. Butch Cassidy.
You don't like that.
North Central Georgia.
I answer. You don't like. You just go to Google next time.
That's like asking, how do I get to the White House? Well, it's in the Northeast. Well, thank you. You know.
Well, here I'll tell you what. Let me look.
I told you a softball to help me out here in North Central Georgia.
Well, you threw me a softball. You throw me a softball. I give you a softball answer.
You struck out.
Okay.
You see what I got to deal with? That's what gets me fired up right there. Thank you, Charman. Thank you. I mean, he did give me a little more focus there. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can put this out for you there. Hang on a minute. No.
Georgia.
No, I said North Central Georgia. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. North Central. And by the way, that don't even make sense. North Central.
Do you see that right there?
Yeah, a little dot. What's that?
All right, you see the state lines?
I see the state line
here. See the state line there. See the state line. North Central Georgia.
That don't help me, bro. North Central. I mean, you might as well say, tri-state area or something. I mean, come on. North
It's
Central.
right dead center of North Central.
Central. There's a lot of area in North Central.
Okay.
How am I supposed to find it?
Okay, David, you're up close to Chattanooga. You need to go southeast, and you'll get there. Just go southeast. Okay? Southeast. If you go southeast far enough, you'll get to North Central Georgia, and right there in North Central Georgia, you'll find.
I could go southeast and end up in Augusta, man. I mean,
Well, if you hit Augusta, you've gone too far. Back up.
My best friend's mom, one time, she left Atlanta for Chattanooga, and I don't know how she did it. Bless her heart. She ended up in Savannah. Out of gas, out of money. They had to wire her money at the old Western Union. So she took a wrong turn, I guess, was just talking to her daughter.
Oh, no. She didn't get lost going to Savannah. She went for a vacation. That's why they had to wire her money.
They're like,
I got
where?
Another week. I need a motel room.
Yeah. She was supposed to be there in like a couple hours. I mean, it would take quite a while from Atlanta. I think, what is that? Oh, that's a good 4 hours, right? Or 6. I mean, it's a good ways, at least 4 hours, I guess. And so she's in Savannah.
Look, if somebody wired me or sent me a phone call or whatever and told me, all right, look, I'm going to Atlanta. Oh, no, I'm in Savannah. I'm going to be stuck here for a week. I need some money for a hotel. I need money for food. I'll probably pick up a few souvenirs while I'm here.
Since we're here.
Since we're here, if we're stuck now, because I'm out of
gas. And I think she wired the ex-husband for that. Of course, she had the daughter with her, so that's the card you can lay. Well, I've got your daughter. I mean, we're in Savannah. We need help.
Or you get the daughter to call, Mom, and I need help.
Yeah, we don't know where we're at. She was saying before she said none of these signs. She called like she said none of the signs look familiar. I've never seen these road signs before. I don't recognize none of the towns. And then finally she sees the big sign, Savannah or something. Welcome to Savannah. Oh my goodness, North Central.
Well, it is North Central, right in the middle of North Central, dead center spot.
Thank you. Thank you, Tarman. That was the response I was expecting from Tarman. Give me an area. Say I've been there. You said you'd been there before.
I have been there.
So you give me.
You go down 75 a long way, then you hang a left and drive out.
That's a big help. 75 and hang a left.
Look, it's been a long time, dude.
What is this? What is this truck driver directions? Is this the kind of directions truck drivers give to people that drive for trucker companies they don't like? I mean, that's what it sounds like. Look, I don't want to name the companies, but there's 2 or 3 companies out there that other drivers hate. They hate them. They hate them. They consider them right out of school. They're no good. We're not going to name them, but every trucker knows who we're talking about. And that sounds like the kind of directions that, you know what? You're the kind of guy that would give me directions in an 18-wheeler to get off at East Ridge and go through the tunnels there. You know what I'm talking about. You're that guy. You're that guy.
No, I am not that guy. I am not that guy. What I would do was to make sure it was rush hour traffic and send you over the ridge cut.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. But I would get you stuck in the tunnel.
In an ice storm.
Yeah. Or go through the tunnel at Ringgold. Under the railroad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's another one. That happens like 2 or 3 times a year. You can imagine the call has to go out like this. We've got another truck stuck in the end of the trestle. Just send everybody out here. We're going to have to get them out. I mean, it's like they're used to it. It's like, okay, boys. It's going to be a fun day, boys, out here. All the traffic's going to be detoured. We've got another trucker stuck under the railroad trestle at Ringgold.
The good thing is, though, that it's just happened so many times, they get them out pretty quick.
They've gotten better at it.
And so instead of it being shut down for all morning, it's like, 20, 30 minutes, they'll have them yanked right out.
You know what's scary is to think there's somebody driving that kind of poundage and size, and they can't read a sign that warns them of how low that is.
Yeah.
And they've got even little things that hang down. If you hit these, don't go any further,
Yeah. But they're like, well, these guys are coming through low bridge, 10 feet clearance. Who's Clarence? And then they pull up and the thing hits their top of their truck, and you're like, is Clarence on top of the truck? I'm going to knock him off.
You know what it is. They're talking on their CB. They're not even paying attention to that. I'm going through Ringgold.
Ringgold. Kind of like ringworm, but it's Ringgold.
Ain't this where they had a tornado at? Oh, man.
There you go.
I remember one time I did. I remember one time I was listening to my CB. I don't have it now, but I had it in there. And I was listening to these truckers, and they were giving this other trucker directions. And guy said thanks, and he must turn the channel or turn it off or whatever. And the guy goes, "Oh man, I made a mistake. I gave him the wrong directions." And the other guys are like, "Yeah, we were fixing to jump in there and tell you that was wrong." They're hollering at him, "Hey, whatever he was. I don't know if it's Smith or, hey, Smith driver." That's the way they talk, hey, FedEx or whatever. And they went, "Wrong directions." And the guy never came back. And they're like, "Oh man, he's going to hate us." Well, I guess he'll say we'd be mean to him, another typical truck driver. But it was pure accident. The guy just made a mistake, and the guy didn't stay on the line. But yeah, when they put the roundabout, I don't know if you were still up here, Robin. They put the roundabout at the tunnels there, or at the tunnel there at East Ridge. It's a roundabout now. Well, I seen a guy up there trying to go around that with 18-wheeler. Of course, you can't do that. So he's running all over the center of it. He didn't go in the tunnel. He stopped, but he was trying to turn that thing around. It looked like a jackknife load of mess. And it was not a good morning for the driver. I can tell you that, because the police were showing up on the scene as he was backing all over everything, trailers rocking all over the place. I'd say he got a pretty stiff fine.
Probably so. Well, they shouldn't have put a roundabout in his way. It's the city's fault. They put the roundabout right in his way. They should have made it bigger, more accommodating for him.
Well, you love roundabouts, don't you?
Oh, I don't mind him. It's Uncle Jib that hates the snot out of him.
Yeah, Uncle Jeb hates them,
Ugh.
Yeah.
Of course, he hates everything new.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I don't mind the single lane. When you start getting to 2, 3, 4 lanes, it gets a little confusing on that. But I don't mind the smaller ones. I mean, kind of makes it go. But then you get the people that don't understand a roundabout, and they just stop,
Those
and
are
they don't
hilarious.
know how to get into the roundabout. They're like afraid, and they wait too long, and it's somebody else is coming. People are blowing their horn like, go, go.
The people don't understand the concept of merging. A lot of times, you have to stop a lot of times to get in there, but you got to get on your gas to get into keep going.
When you're getting on the interstate, I don't care where you're at. If you're in the middle of nowhere and there's no traffic, it's not a big deal. But if you're in a city, or you're in some really, busy area, that merge sign means floor it and make your way in, force your way in. I mean, there is no being nice. You have got to just you got to take it, because they ain't going to get over if they can't get over, or they don't want to get over. They're not going to get. So you got to get up some speed, and you just go in. That's the way you do. You got to take it.
But you do not pull up to the end of the on-ramp and stop.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh,
that is absolute
that
worst.
Is not a stop sign. That is a yield sign. Learn how it works. Live it. Love it. Get used to it. And don't hack off the guy behind you, because now he's got to do the same thing you've got to do.
Yeah, now coming from a dead stop, trying to get into traffic. Oh.
If them people don't get over for you, you become one of the people that we laugh at that's going alongside the road on the shoulder. Yeah, we laugh at you. But still, you're better doing that than you are hitting the brakes.
One of the worst sounds you can hear is when you hear the truck just laying on their horn. Something not good has happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know that it's a driver who has just performed silly. Don't want to say stupid, but silly.
We like silly. We don't like stupid. There's two big differences there. So
I've concluded long ago that there is not just a few, there is a significant portion of the population who has a driver's license in this country who has no clue how to drive. I don't know how they got their license. It must have been the easiest test ever. They have no understanding of traffic laws. They have no understanding of traffic signage. They have no understand. I mean, they do not understand basic traffic laws. I don't know how they got their license. I really don't.
Well, I know that, and you don't want to single out a particular group of people. And
well, you got us in trouble now. Way to go, Rob.
I'm talking about them. I just pointed out who you was talking about.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, you know who you was talking about. Don't you blow that off on me. You know who you was talking about. I just, pointed out to everybody.
The Southern Fried Podcast would like to point out that the last 10 seconds of conversation comes purely from the demented mind of Robert Blevins. Any association with David Cordell is purely by coincidence, who had nothing to do with his mouth or his mind. Thank you. This disclaimer is over now. Continue your normal broadcasting.
Okay. Well, I don't know why you got to be on the women folk like that. If I make coffee come out your nose this morning, I win.
Might I add that it is a female that drives you around everywhere, okay? Watch your step.
Hey, let me tell you something. My wife is an expert driver.
I seen it. I saw it when she made sure they got the truck washed going down the road. Y'all showed that video. Yeah.
Yeah, she's an expert driver, and I feel perfectly safe nestled in her arms while we're driving down the road. Okay, she's an expert driver.
Nestled in her arms. You're not supposed to be nestled in anybody's arms. She's supposed to be driving. Don't need you nestled in her arms.
I don't complain about the way my wife drives too. You on all of them now. Now you even on the way my wife drives. What the heck?
No, I'm
no woman can drive up to your standard. Does Lynn know this? But anyway, as I was saying, nestled in her arms, I feel perfectly safe driving down the road.
Nestled in her arms.
Yes.
That sounds like Friday night date night when you're 16 or something. I don't know.
So anyway, the point I was trying to make is even occasionally she'll say, I bet that's a woman driver. just throwing that out there.
You know what my wife says is when I have that little bit of road rage, not in the crazy way, but we all say jackleg or you idiot or whatever. And I'll look at my wife and she'll say, don't say it. Don't say it. And I'll say, you're going to get me in trouble. I'll say, well, do you think it's a man or a woman driving? She'll say, I think it's a man. And we'll pull up and we'll look over and she'll just shake her.
Every time. Why is that? It's not because inherently men are better.
No,
drivers.
It's not. It is the fact, that we are different thinking creatures. And women have so many things on their mind. They really do. Driving is one of the many multitasks that they're doing. So their brain is firing in all different directions. And they're like, what was a sign? I didn't see no sign. They're trying to figure out their ingredients for the supper they're going to make that night and how they're going to get their job done. And what time the kids got to be picked up for soccer practice or football practice or,
They're going down the road in rush hour traffic, driving with their foot.
Well, that's how you drive, right?
Putting makeup on, and they got their phone on the Bluetooth, and they're trying to eat something, and well, let's face it, women are beautiful, beautiful creatures, okay? Beautiful. And they put in a lot of work, effort, and time, to keep themselves looking pretty for us. So, there's only so many hours in the day. They have to sleep sometime, so if they stay up late watching a movie or something, they're running behind. That time's still got to go take place. So they do it where they can, which is usually in the car. And they're just, I can't,
I don't know, Rob. I can bet there's been times you've been going down the road putting some makeup on. I just think it probably happened,
I'm thinking. No, I'm pretty sure that didn't ever happen. Didn't think about it. I have changed clothes going down the road. If you hadn't ever, then you've never been riding in the road while you're driving down the road while you had soaking wet clothes on and you had dry clothes in the truck with you. Sometimes
a shirt is one thing. Anything beyond that that's a little much.
Why do you think they made cruise control? And
not for you
so you can change your wet britches in the car too.
No, that's not how that works.
Sure it is. I tried to explain that to the police officer that pulled me over. I finally made it through to him.
Lord have mercy.
What?
Bless him.
Bless him. You ain't got no sense to change your wet clothes.
And why are your clothes wet?
The police officer did have a point. I could have pulled over and done it. Okay?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It was still raining. So even if I pulled over at the rest area and ran inside the rest area and changed clothes, ran back. I'd have got wet again getting back to the truck. So what? Change them when you're already in the dry.
They make something called an umbrella.
Yeah, whatever. I ain't no Yankee. I ain't using one of them things. You see them, and you know that's a Yankee. Yankee came up with that because you see them all the time in New York City. They're walking around. It'd be broad daylight, sun everywhere. They got an umbrella under their arm. Why?
In case it might rain.
So you got to carry a stick around with you all day long with some sheet on the top of it, so just in case it might rain.
I have to admit, I've never carried one.
I haven't either. My wife does.
This is my umbrella. Mm-hmm. The hat. That's it.
Now, I think it was time before last that we went out to eat at the Chinese restaurant over here in Colquitt. There's a little lady, and it came, I mean, just a belly washer. And she had to go right then. This elderly lady, and I mean, had to go. She was leaving no matter what. I mean, it's just a downpour. Now, I went out the car and I got my wife's umbrella and I walked her out to her car to make sure she got down the steps okay and all that. But what I don't understand is when it's raining that hard, it's not going to continue unless it's a hurricane or something. We wasn't out in a hurricane. She could have waited just a few minutes, but nope. So we all got soaked. It was okay. It
was very nice.
Yeah, it'd be like you if you were trying to struggle out the Chinese restaurant with your supper and had to get down the steps and it was downpouring. I'd help you down the steps. I help the elderly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sundance.
Yeah.
I try to take care of all the elderly folks out there, you know. I appreciate the elderly, especially you, Dave. I mean, you've always been quite a few years older than me. And you know, I love you. And I watch the struggles that you've always had being so much older than I am going through life. And, you know, I really respect and admire you for that.
Thank you, buddy. Mr. North Central.
So you're going to be
Mr. GPS.
60 this year, right?
No, I will not. I've already had my birthday this year.
Oh. So you're 61.
No, 59. I'm good till 2025.
I love how your voice jumped there. No, I'm not 61. No, 62. Oh, I'm way off here.
I will be 60 next year. I don't know what 60 is supposed to feel like. Now, maybe some days I do if I'm hurting, but
you know. When you wake up in the morning, I'll tell you how to tell. When you wake up in the morning, you go like this. And you'll know what 60 feels like. Just saying.
I'm not 60, so I wouldn't know. It wouldn't matter right now.
You'll know.
Maybe later, but I'm not 60.
It's like North Central Georgia's close enough.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that is dead center North Central Georgia. Told you where it was.
North Central.
Yeah. You can't follow those directions. That's
can you imagine? Can you imagine Rob giving directions to his church? Yeah, we're in North Central Georgia. I mean, come on, seriously, dude.
Well, look,
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. North Central.
Where is Colquitt, Georgia, located?
That's like saying South Central LA. I mean, you know.
Where is Colquitt, Georgia, located?
I don't know. I know a place called Colquitt. I don't know about this Colquitt. I don't know. I really don't know where it's at. I know it's in South Georgia.
It's in Southwest Georgia.
I just know it's somewhere down there. I couldn't tell you on a map right now where it's at. But if I were going to give directions, I would help somebody.
Like North Central, but not. It's Southwest Georgia. And there are places down here called Sowega. And Sowega stands for Southwest Georgia. So for us, that's good directions. I'm sorry if you can't follow good directions. I'm just saying, you know, I'm just throwing it out there for you.
Okay, Sawega. Sounds like you're taking a swig of something. I mean, Sawega.
No, that's because you don't speak proper Southern South Georgian.
No, and thank the Lord I don't, because right now I'm just happy about that.
And just wait till we get on the engine names.
Yeah,
We'll have to do that tonight.
I'm really at a disadvantage to all the people that could be listening from South Georgia. I am sorry that your representative for me, I hate it, is Robert. I mean, he's not the proper representative for the whole of South Georgia, but that's the only guy I know from South Georgia. So he becomes the poster child for South Georgia. This is really sad. I mean, I need more help here. I love him with all my heart, but this is not, I mean, I need better than this, because you see what I'm dealing with, South Georgia.
Look, Chris lived down here for a while. Why don't you ask him?
Chris would give me better directions than that. I know he would.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Chris.
Yeah,
He's going to be back with us soon. He's doing great.
Yes.
Appreciate you, brother. Love you, man.
Hopefully we'll have you back on here for long. Is he feeling better? He's doing better. I don't mean he's looking no better, but he's feeling a lot better. And, we're glad to hear that.
He probably feels like the $6 million man right now, because it costs about that much probably to have surgery nowadays. And plus they have rebuilt him. They have fixed him up, and he'll be stronger and faster. And the mad scientist will do even more amazing creations for us here at the Southern Fried Podcast, man.
Yes. They did all that work on the inside and didn't touch the outside. They could at least buffed his bumpers and fenders off a little bit.
Well, that'll be the next tune-up,
All right. Well, I tell y'all what, it's about that time. Dave's got to go to work. I got to go to work. And we love y'all. Have a great day.
And we want to warn you, tonight is the Southern Fried Podcast Hump Day News. And every Wednesday, I never know what to expect. It gets wild and willy, crazy on Wednesday. So I want to warn you, have mercy, because I have no clue what's going to happen tonight. We have talked about everything from zombies to cats on top of telephone poles, and
which
gators
we need to save us from the monkeys when they break out of the monkey farm.
Yes. It has all came out on Wednesday, the Hump Day News on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Pray for us, because I have no clue where it's going to happen tonight. And Rob, was obviously off the chain this morning. So now he's got all day to kind of get ready for tonight. Who knows what's going to happen? But salute to you. Have a great day. Weather is getting better and better every day. Can't wait for this fall weather.
In South Georgia, it's not going to hit 90 today, I don't think.
Awesome. Awesome.
So we love y'all. Great day. Like and follow and subscribe and go to the side and tie-dye it, whatever you're supposed to do. All right. Y'all have a great day. Salute. And God bless.